Greetings, Poco Traveler fans. Today is Sunday, February 16th, 2024. It is 6:17 p.m. Mountain Time and 42 degrees Fahrenheit here in Salt Lake City. Right now I'm at the Trader Joe's location that is off of 2100 South and South 700 East. And I haven't done a driving video in a while, so I thought maybe it would be fun to kick it up again and try it out.
Head west toward 2100 South.
The Trader Joe's, you really can't see it, but it's the building that's on my right. So the entrance would be just making a right-hand turn here. That's where I picked up a couple of items. Now let's see how we can navigate out of here. Sometimes it's difficult to get onto the street that I want to get to from this parking lot, because when you exit this parking lot, there's a sharp, several lanes you have to go very quickly in order to get to the turn lane. So we'll see if I'm able to navigate that or if I have to go around.
In 150 feet, turn right onto 2100 South. Take the next right onto 2100 South, then turn left onto South 700 East.
Right now it doesn't seem that bad. I was able to just kind of get out.
At the light, turn left onto South 700 East.
Some construction here. So the normal left turn lane is actually blocked off, and they have this lane which is normally going straight only. They have the left-hand turn allowed. Yeah, I think the mistake I've tried to make in the past is I've tried to come out in this area right near Dee's restaurant. There's like 2 exits, so I did better coming onto this exit.
Continue on South 700 East for 3 miles.
Okay, so now we are headed toward downtown Salt Lake City. We're going to pass Liberty Park. We're not going to quite cut through downtown Salt Lake City, but we will, at least if Google Maps continues the way I programmed it to. I have it so the drive is going to take us up near the Utah State Capitol building, so you can get a peek at that. This is 1700 South that we're approaching right now. Speed limit on this road is 40 miles per hour. Now we're passing 1300 South. And this is where, again, because how dark it is, you're probably not going to see it, but on the left would be Liberty Park, one of the bigger parks just on the outskirts of downtown Salt Lake City. It has a trail surrounding the park, also has the Tracy Aviary if you want to see birds. Opening scene, one of the opening scenes of The Sandlot was filmed there. That's one of the kids' baseball movies from back in the day. any of you have seen my videos over the past few years where I show the really extravagant homemade Halloween decorations. Like one year he did the 30-foot tall Frankenstein. This year he did a Ghostbusters theme. Last year I believe was the Scooby. When I say last year, I mean 2 years ago now. It was a Scooby-Doo theme. That would be if you just made a right-hand turn up here at 900 South, and then I think it's like 2 blocks down, and you make a right again to kind of backtrack a little bit from where I just came from. And that's where that house would be located. Also, if you've ever seen me talk about a place called Monsieur Crepes, it's pretty much in that same identical location that I just mentioned. We'll see if we get any weather fluctuations during this drive too. When I initially came in from Layton, Utah a few hours ago, in Layton it was snow, and then when you got a little bit further toward Farmington, Utah, it was rain. And then once I got closer to Salt Lake, it just like cleared up and there was no snow on the ground anywhere. Like I said, it is warmer down here than it is a little bit north. Up ahead, that thing that you see lit up in purple and white on the left, that is Trolley Square mini shopping mall. I haven't actually been inside Trolley Square for several years. I've probably been in there twice total, once in 2018 and maybe once in like 2019. So I don't know what's in there now, besides the fact that there is a Whole Foods market that anchors the plaza. They used to have a green bike station there, but I think they shifted that to the street ahead of us. And the original Trader Joe's, which I still go to often, would be if you turned either at 500 South or the next intersection. It's in the plaza that's right there. As we approach 400 South. If you made a left-hand turn down 400 South and kept going, you would eventually hit the Salt Lake City Library and like near the Grand America Hotel, the city and county building. So you really start to get into downtown Salt Lake City. And then if we decided to go toward the right at any of these intersections coming up, you would start heading toward the University of Utah, the Utes. not needing to go downtown, it makes sense to do a square around it. Otherwise, you're just going to get caught up in a little more traffic than necessary. Some tighter roads and busier intersections. Although it is a Sunday, so a lot of, like, you know, the Temple Square and City Creek Center shopping area is all closed. That traffic light is throwing me for a second because it wasn't green. The lights were like white or yellow where it should be green. Speed limit's only 25 miles per hour here. We're going to be making a right-hand turn when we get up to
In 1,000 feet, use the right 2 lanes to turn right onto North State Street.
North State Street. I'm trying to jog my memory whether it matters if we're in the far right lane or the lane just to the right of us.
At the light, use the right 2 lanes to turn right onto North State Street.
It's not too heavily trafficked, so we're just going to stick to the furthest right lane.
In a quarter mile, you will arrive at your destination.
I think actually I'm going to get over to the left lane because that's right, once I cross the light, the lanes merge in. So this way I don't have to be in the merging lane. So this is North Temple. If you head to the left, on the right side, it's pointing you to 2nd Avenue. And then straight ahead of us is the Utah State Capitol building. Again, it's nighttime now, so I'll have to try to be better about doing some daytime driving videos. But like I said, it's been probably over a year since I've done a driving recorded video on my camera. I just sort of spontaneously took the camera out and said, let me give this a shot. I was actually going to try it on the drive in, but because it was so snowy, like the way the road conditions were leaving initially, I could barely even see out the window, so I knew it wouldn't have been good for the camera. Until you got like that halfway mark towards Salt Lake City, then it cleared up. But by then I wasn't going to stop and put the camera on. I think as we get right up to the Capitol building, you'll be able to see.
You have arrived.
Well, when it says you have arrived, that's because I plugged in the Utah State Capitol building initially.
In 600 feet, at the traffic circle, take the 2nd exit.
Last time I came by here, they did have some construction here, so I couldn't actually use this roundabout traffic circle. It looks like that has been cleared up.
In 800 feet, sharp right onto Columbus Street East.
Alright, well, that was your quick look at the Capitol. I did do a cherry blossom walk video back in, I'm guessing, April of 2024.
At the light, sharp right onto Columbus Street East.
Now we're going to make a sharp right onto Columbus Street East. So you can see my camera, or hear my camera sort of.
Continue for 1.5 miles.
It's right up against the window of the camera, so it was having a little bit of jiggliness as I made that turn. I oriented the camera different the suction cup that the camera attaches to. I oriented it differently than I used to. So that's another experiment I'm doing to see how the footage looks after that. This is 500 North coming up right here. So in order to start getting to the highway, you're going to make a slight left here. And then we're going to be going downhill. It's a shame we're not going to be able to see this view probably on the camera. During the daytime it looks pretty cool, as you're seeing all like the industrial type buildings down below us to the left. The speed limit on this road is 50 miles per hour. Slows to 40 miles per hour as you approach the end of the hill.
At the light, use any lane to turn right onto US 89 North Beck Street.
So you can't make a left-hand turn from this road. If you want to do that, you gotta sort of continue forward and like make a U-turn somewhere. Right up ahead of us is, I notice this when I come by this way, it's a place called The Garage. I assume it's like a nice little bar. When I've come during the daytime, you see quite a few cars over there. So I'm assuming that the
Continue on US 89 North for 2 miles.
nearby factory workers frequent it. Probably should have thought about putting my camera on 1080p mode instead of 4K mode with the darkness coming. One thing I also want to try out, that I've never done before, and I want to try this either for bike riding or car videos or both, is I have a wide angle lens that came with this camera. Even though I've had this camera for probably over 2 years now, I've never used that lens. No particular reason why, other than I was just using the default lens. But when I was watching a video that someone did when those California wildfires happened a month or so ago, someone was riding around an electric bike, and the footage they captured was nice, obviously not nice that things were burning, but like still nice to like immerse you in the experience and feel like you're getting to see the action and what's happening up close. But you could tell there was like a degree of wide angle lens being used, so you could see more of the left and right parts of the street. I'll probably try to experiment with that at some point, either on a bike riding video or a car video.
In half a mile, use the left lane to take the I-15 North ramp to Ogden.
Alright, we are going to take the I-15 North, which either of these left 2 lanes.
Use the left lane to take the I-15 North ramp, then merge onto I-15 North.
Which merges into one lane here. 70 miles per hour. Once you get either beyond, I want to say like beyond or close to Brigham City, it might get up to 80. And then once you get south Provo, if you're going the other way, you also start getting to 80. And I feel like it was also an 85. I drove that way to when I went to Las Vegas during Super Bowl season in 2024. Might attempt that drive again for mid-April when WrestleMania goes to Vegas. It is starting to rain a little bit. But when I say starting to rain, it could be a similar thing as earlier when I'm getting away from Salt Lake City, and that's where the rain and snow are happening. So we'll see if we experience a multitude of weather patterns coming up here. Salt Lake, Bountiful area, sort of Woods Crossings. It's kind of like the intersection of all three of those areas near exit 315. The other day I published a video on my experiences at the Goodwill outlets, which was kind of fun. But on the same note, if I'm going to do like another side hobby of trying to find some gems and maybe reselling them, I don't want to get into a habit of like collecting junk that may just like sit there and never sell. So since I was going to be in the area when I was shopping at Trader Joe's today, I was like, let me swing by, even though it was a Sunday. I've read that's the best times to really go are like right in the morning, and sometimes on a Monday or Tuesday would be also the best to go. So Sunday, toward the end of the day, by then everything's picked over, so you're probably going to get even more of the junk of the junk. So I went there, I had a bag with me, and I initially put like 5 or 6 items in there. They were items that I thought to myself, okay, these are items of somewhat interest. Like in my mind I was basically curious, okay, let me see if these sell or market well on eBay, sold listings in the past. And one of them was like a DVD box set of some, exactly describe it as some DVD box set. It looked kind of unique, so I looked it up, and there were some sold listings, but then there were a ton of active listings on the same item, and some of them were in better condition. And even if they did sell, it would sell for maybe like $12. So I'm like, I don't care about this item. Do I really want to be stashing this? And the cheaper the item you sell on eBay after they take fees, and the fact that the DVD set weighed a little bit, so I would be paying probably like close to $2 for it. When you start thinking the time and effort of doing that, it's like, it's not worth the profit margin. I'd rather have something that can have a bigger profit margin. $7-8 or less. So it just would end up being a waste of time. So one of these days I'll have to go back on an early, like Monday or Tuesday. I was trying to think tomorrow's President's Day, so I would be off from work, but I don't think I'll be able to make it out there in the morning.
To take exit 324 from US 89 North to I-84 East, South Ogden.
Alright, so next 1.9 miles, I need to take exit 324. And I know the footage on my preview looks pitch black right now. Sometimes I've done that though, and when I actually go back and look at the video, like when I did a bike riding adventure in Phoenix during my conference last year, I kept on repeating that over and over, like, oh, this is going to be, you know, not good, you can't see anything. But when I did look at the footage afterward, I was like, you know what, that is sort of salvageable. So I'm hoping when I look back at this that it's not like you can't see anything. Speaking of conferences, my work conference this year is coming up in mid-March. It will be in the city of New Orleans, Louisiana this year. That's the
Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 324 from US 89 North.
That's the city that just hosted the Super Bowl, where the Philadelphia Eagles dethroned the Kansas City Chiefs. Unfortunately, it was a blowout game. For Eagles fans, that was great, or people who wanted to see the Chiefs, you know, lose.
Use the right
We're
2
hell-bent on
lanes to
seeing
take
them
exit
lose.
324.
You know, they would have been loving it. I just, you know, I enjoy seeing a close, competitive game. So for that purpose, it was like, But of course, it was impressive what Philadelphia did. But back to New Orleans, I'll be headed there, so I need to start scouting that out a little bit. We just passed Farmington. So Farmington on the far right would have been Lagoon, the amusement park that has a dominant hold on the state of Utah. The very expensive prices. I mean, prices per ticket, I think, are like $94 during the season. It's actually, which is the case with a lot of amusement parks, ends up being cheaper if you're going to buy a season pass. Like, I think if you buy a season pass to Lagoon, it's probably about $120. So, like, if you're going to buy one ticket, you almost might as well spend a little bit extra for the season pass, unless you truly are visiting one time. And then on the opposite end, meaning when I was heading this way at Farmington, if I would have turned left, that's where Farmington Station is. Really nice shopping center. It has all the big stores you can imagine, and decent amount of smaller scale stores as well, and some food options. I think the rain is kind of stopped. Maybe very, very light, so I'll keep the wipers on for now. right turn, you would head into the mountains. Obviously too dark for that right now, but we're like right up against them when you're over near this area. Always have to peek forward to make sure no cars are coming before you make your left-hand turn.
In a quarter mile, at the traffic circle, continue straight to stay on East Antelope Drive.
This road starts off at 35 miles per hour. Although there's an immediate slowdown with the roundabout or traffic circle, 15 miles per hour as you approach it. Go over the little speed bump. Yeah, we got some dark roads here, so you're probably not going to be able to see anything. Even if I turn my brights on, not going to make a difference. But we are near the end of this video anyway, because I'm not going to record it going all the way up to the house. If you kept taking Antelope beyond where I'm going to take it, you would reach some of the shopping areas in Layton, Utah, like Target, or a little bit further to the left of Antelope. Heading south would be the Layton Hills Mall.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto North 1450 East, Hidden Hollow Drive. Take the next right onto North 1450 East, Hidden Hollow Drive. In half a mile, turn right onto East 2400 North.
Alright, let me, once I get past the fire hydrant here, pull over for a second so I can conclude the video. If you enjoyed this little drive, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you next time.